Electric mower brands are lying to you about battery life. Not exaggerating. Lying. And most buyers won't figure that out until they're stranded halfway through the lawn. Today, we fix that. I've tested 7 electric mowers across every price tier, from sub $200 to over $600. And the ranking you're about to see is built entirely on one question. Does this mower actually do what the box says? Not what the marketing says. What the box says. Because a wrong choice here doesn't just cost you money. It costs you every Saturday for the next 3 years. We're scoring these on real cutting performance, honest battery runtime, and price-to-performance ratio. Because at $400, a mower needs to demolish the $250 option on every metric that matters. Some do. Some absolutely don't. Let's find out which is which. Lively says this 16.5-inch cordless mower handles 3,200 square feet on two 5.0 ampere-hour batteries. At $159.99, that pitch is genuinely attractive. Brushless motor, zero maintenance, dual batteries included in the box. On paper, it checks every box, so let's stress test that. The 3,200 square foot claim assumes ideal conditions. Flat terrain, healthy batteries, consistent grass height. Real buyers aren't reporting that experience. At 3.9 stars across 250 reviews, something is falling short. The cutting height range only goes from 1 inch to 2.5 inches. That's a narrow window. If your lawn gets away from you, you're already outside its comfort zone. And that dual battery runtime? Many owners report the real-world coverage lands noticeably below the marketing number. It didn't hit 3,200. Not consistently. For a small, perfectly manicured yard, it's probably fine. But you're buying a promise here, not a proven track record. At $159.99, the value case depends entirely on that runtime claim holding up. And the data says it doesn't hold up reliably enough to trust. Skip it unless you have hard evidence your yard fits inside its actual limits. So how does that stack up against something even cheaper? Meet the Simply Magic 13-inch corded mower at $129.99. The pitch is simple. Lightweight, 1,300 watts, 10.5 amps, handles rough grass. Sounds fine on paper. Here's the problem. A 13-inch cutting deck means you're making roughly 40% more passes than a standard 20-inch mower to cover the same ground. That's not a minor inconvenience. Yeah, that's your Saturday afternoon. And then there's the cord. Every corded mower has this tax, but a 13-inch deck makes it worse because you're repositioning constantly. More passes, more cord management, more frustration. The cutting height maxes out at 40 millimeters. That's about 1.6 inches. Shallow. The 30-liter bag will fill fast on a thick lawn. And the rating? 3.4 out of 5 across 69 reviews. That's not a product finding its audience. That's a product failing most of them. At $129.99, this isn't a deal. It's a discount on a machine that makes the job harder. Skip it. The GreenWorks 40 volts 16-inch brushless comes in at $239.99 and leads with a brushless motor. That matters. Brushless means more torque, quieter operation, and longer tool life compared to a brushed motor. Real difference, not marketing. The 16-inch cutting deck keeps it light and maneuverable, which GreenWorks says covers up to half an acre. The 4.0 ampere-hour battery charges in 120 minutes and promises up to 30 minutes of runtime. Here's where the math gets uncomfortable. 30 minutes of runtime at $239.99 is tight. You'd better have a small yard and a charger close by. You also get 5-position height adjustment, 2-in-1 mulching and bagging, and a 3-year warranty on both the tool and the battery, so that last part is genuinely worth something. The 4.2 out of 5 rating across 626 reviews is respectable. Not exceptional, but solid. The GreenWorks 40-volt ecosystem compatibility is the real argument here. If you already own 40-volt GreenWorks tools, the battery works across 75-plus products. That adds value. For a first-time buyer with no existing ecosystem, At this price, the runtime ceiling is going to bother you. Next up is the one that actually surprised me. $7,359. Let that land for a second. That is what Ego wants for the ZT5207L, a 52-inch zero-turn powered by 656-volt batteries and marketed as a 25 horsepower equivalent. The promise: 4 acres on a single charge, gas performance without the gas. And honestly, the specs mostly hold up. 6 batteries working in parallel is a serious engineering commitment, and the platform-compatible design means any Ego 56-volt pack you already own can feed this machine. Speed tops out at 8 miles per hour. For a zero-turn, that's respectable. So where's the catch? At 61 reviews and a 4.3 rating, this thing is barely tested in the real world. That's a thin sample for a $7,300 decision. It's the benchmark, the ceiling of what battery mowers can currently do. But you're paying a serious premium to be an early adopter. If you're managing 3 or 4 acres and you want to run gas-free forever, this is your machine. If you're mowing anything under 2 acres, this is overkill with a capital O. The value math simply doesn't work. So that brings us to the one that actually surprised me. The WILDBADGER Power 40 volts. And at $209.22, this is where the value math finally starts working in your favor. The claim: a brushless 40-volt motor covering 5,445 square feet on a single charge. That's your front yard and your backyard. Done. Battery still alive. And unlike half the promises on this list, that number holds up. The 4.0 ampere-hour battery with a 1.9-hour full charge is the reason. You're not babysitting a dying pack mid-lawn. The 18-inch deck hits the sweet spot too. Wide enough to finish a real yard fast, compact enough that the 37.5-pound frame actually maneuvers around flower beds without a wrestling match. 5 cutting height positions, true 3-in-1 bagging, mulching, or discharge. Push-button start. Over 1,000 buyers rated this 4.2 stars. That's not a fluke. The honest flaw? If your lawn runs past a quarter-acre regularly, you'll be pushing this thing hard at the limit of its range. But for small to medium residential yards, this is the right tool. Not too much, not too little. The number 1 pick is still ahead. And it reframes everything. So here's the honest tier breakdown. Corded electric is cheapest up front, but you're managing a cable every single cut. That's real friction, not a spec sheet complaint. Cordless wins on convenience, but battery runtime is a hard ceiling, and push past it and the job doesn't finish. Riding systems remove the labor entirely, but you're paying a significant premium, and they need the yard size to justify it. The non-negotiable truth? Buying above your yard's requirements doesn't buy performance. It buys regret. Every tier has a right buyer and a wrong one. Spend at the wrong tier, and the mower works fine, but you still feel like you wasted money. Pick correctly, and you won't think about it again. The number 1 pick nails that balance harder than anything else in this lineup. So here's where it lands. Corded mowers look cheap until you price in the extension cord, the tripping hazard, and the hard stop every time you hit the property line. False economy. Ego earns its premium, but only if you're mowing serious acreage and already own the battery platform. For everyone else, WILDBADGER is the answer. Right price, right runtime, no compromises that actually hurt. That's the ranking. Links are below. Links are in the description. Current prices, no fluff. Subscribe if you want the next tier down, and drop a comment. What are you actually mowing with right now?